Hey guys, welcome back to our TransCAD tutorial. I'm Danny. In this extra part of tutorial 3, we are going to learn a step called PA to OD, which is a step after trip distribution. So we are using this step to get a peak hour OD matrix from our result of 24-hour OD matrix. So since it's the step after trip distribution, here I'm going to open our trip distribution workspace file again, which is called this, and here's a network, a friction factor table, and short paths table. I'm going to quickly redo the trip distribution for only home-based work trip. I'm using just gamma, and here's the result. So this OD matrix is the result of trip distribution. And if we open the table of our TAZ, we see the production and the traction for home-based work trips. So in most cases, these numbers are calculated from the trip rate of a daily trip rate. So that's why we say our result, the OD matrix, is a 24-hour OD matrix. So what people are mostly interested in is the congestion situation in peak hours. So that's why we need this step to convert this 24-hour OD matrix to a peak hour OD matrix. So let's do it now. And for that step, we need another input, which is an hourly share percentage table. I have it here called hourly, and inside this table we have the corresponding share for different trip purposes for the 24 hours. So let's say we will be looking at the time interval of 5 to 6 p.m. And we are looking at a home-based work trip. So the rate or the share we're going to use are this 0.6 and 11.8, which is the share of departure and returning home-based work trip. So it's okay if you don't understand what they mean right now. We will understand them later when we have the numbers. So let's do it right now. Switching back to the 24-hour OD matrix, we do planning and PA to OD. And here, the input tables PA matrix file, which is this one, the 24-hour OD matrix. Lookup data view is this one called hourly. And here you should select the hours you want. So for me, I'm going to do 5 to 6 p.m. And here, for home-based work trip, it needs the field of the percentage of departing trips, which is the field we just looked at, and the returning is also there. And here, this trip, vehicle trips question mark, you can select it if you want to convert this person trip table into a car trip table with an assumed average occupancy. Here I'm not going to do it. So I click OK. Here will be the result. So let's try to understand this result. Let me organize the view a little bit. Okay. So let's pick one OD pair as an example. Let's say we look at this number from zone 14 to zone 6. How do we get this 0.66 trips? So the first thing we need to understand is that home-based work trip, just like any other trip purposes, it has two directions. So in this table, from zone 14 to 6, we have nearly 53 trips. It doesn't mean that in this day, in the 24-hour, there will be 43 people going from zone 14 to zone 6. But actually only half of them will do that. Half of 53 is nearly 26. So 26 people will leave 14 to go to zone 6 to work. And then the same 26 people will go back from zone 6 to zone 14 to return home. So that's the two directions. And in this hourly table, if we do a quick sum, we will see that for home-based work trip and returning home-based work trip, the sum are both 50% instead of 100%. So that's also shown in here. The 53 people, 50% of them will leave home to go to work, and then the same 50% will go back from work to home. So that's how you understand the directional property of the trips. All right. So once you got that, then we can understand how we got this number. So in the evening peak, some people between zone 14 and zone 6, some people, their homes are in zone 14 and they go to work in zone 6. So that's when someone goes to work at the evening peak, that means they probably work in the evening or night shift. So not so many people do that. So that's why the corresponding share is rather low. Only 0.6% of share among all the 53 trips. So these people go to work. So they go from zone 14 to zone 6. And also the other group of people, they live in zone 6 and they work in zone 14. And in the evening peak, they finish their work and they go back home. So that's what most people do. So that's why the corresponding share is rather high for it, 11.8%, times the total home-based work trips from zone 6 to 14, which is 2.94, which is in this table, it's here. All right. So this number is the home-based work trip from 6 to 14, and this number is from 14 to 6. Kind of tricky to understand. But both groups of people in the evening peak, in this hour of 5 to 6 p.m., they will travel from zone 14 to zone 6. So their sum, if we made the calculation, that will be 0.66, which is the number here. All right, so you have to understand this directional thing. So that's our result. So this OD matrix will be the hourly OD matrix, and we would continue our 4-step approach using this hourly trip table if we are interested in the peak hour only. You can also use the original 24-hour if your interest is for the whole day. It's totally up to you. All right, so that's all for this extra part, and thank you.